Hey there, everybody. On this Thursday, welcome to another episode of Beyond the Forecast. Kevin, we're closing in on 40 episodes. Episode 39 this week.
My goodness. I mean, a couple months will be 50.
I know.
I mean, not to look ahead past the next 10 beyond today. Beyond, we look beyond after that. But wow, the number is really going up.
It is. It is. I mean, I feel like I'm trying to remember when we started this, and I know we had a couple, obviously, holidays.
We talked about it last week. It was during, right near Halloween and the time change.
Yeah, okay. All right. Perfect then. Perfect. So like the first week of November or something.
The first thing I recorded was about the time change.
Okay, that's right.
Which is especially a hot topic now.
Yeah.
Anyways,
well, it's kind of died down a little bit.
Random flare up. You don't usually get the flare up in the summertime.
No, you
I was a little surprised. Anyways, 39 episodes, and this might be the first one where I'm more awake than you.
I was going to say, yeah, I'm. Well, I don't feel too bad, thankfully, because I did kind of adjust my sleep schedule. I'm filling in on the mornings this week with backpacks, so Matt and yourself can be out in the field. And
Yes.
Earlier this week I kind of shifted my wake up time, but I didn't shift the bedtime. So it kind of messed me up a little bit last night. I'm feeling okay for now.
I'm still not used to going to bed at like 7, 8 o'clock.
It's crazy. I had to go to bed around 7. I tried. I think it was like 6:30 I got into bed. I read a little bit. I don't think I really slept much. I feel okay.
That's a thing though, Rob. It's like sometimes I'll go to sleep when I want, but then I'll wake up and I'll have way too much energy. And I don't know.
You have energy or your mind is just
going.
You're
and thinking about life.
Yes.
It's a real thing.
It's horrible. But I haven't drank this much coffee in a long time. I kind of cut back on coffee, so I think maybe that's why I'm feeling good.
Cheers.
Yeah, so I've got 2 more days of this.
Have I ever shown this on
Yes,
here? I think
you
I
definitely
have, right?
has. You definitely have.
I got a
yes.
second. My friends got me a second one. It's white. I got to bring it in, but it's basically the same thing. It's got 4 icons here instead of 5. Which one? Okay. Well, we don't need the overcast icon.
It's funny because it wasn't. I was going to get you a sweater, something about Excel. Remember that?
Excel?
You're a big Excel person. I think I sent you that.
I don't know. Was it you? It was literally like a shirt that was entirely like, I was like, oh.
I think that's what it was.
They only sell one size.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Excel.
Okay. Oh.
Thank you. I'm here for the next 25 minutes.
Joke. Just like the 925 for Dolly Parton.
I realized missed opportunity this morning. Here's your 925, and I went to the planner. Oops. I had enough on my mind.
Yeah, yeah. It was a sad thing that we found out on Tuesday that Dolly Parton passed away. Brief fight with cancer. It sounds like
she kept it very quiet.
She did. I remember last year she brought up as far as she was battling or she was dealing with something. She wasn't feeling well. She had a sickness or something. Never said that it was cancer. But you know what? That's how she was. She didn't want her fans worrying about her. And she still wanted to do what she did, and that was bring goodness to this world. I think if everybody could be a little more like Dolly, I think the world would be a better place. So not to be all corny, but I do believe that.
And here's a somewhat interesting segue I will make from that topic. The next Atlantic hurricane name is Dolly. So
and it's funny because everybody jumped on board with that yesterday. The National Hurricane Center has actually decrease the chances of that developing. So it may not happen for a little while. We'll see. We'll see. All right, let's talk about this week, Kevin, because we've got the lunar eclipse happening tonight.
As of when this airs,
yes.
Right?
Then we'll talk about the weather around it too to let you know what we're expecting. We'll look ahead to what to expect for fall of 2026. We'll look back in time to fall of 2025, if that can give us any insight as to maybe what we see this year. And then the last 5 fall seasons, Kevin, I ran the numbers yesterday.
That's good, Rob. I'm proud of you for that.
It's interesting. It's interesting.
I just can't. September is so cool. Like not literally. It's such a cool month.
I love September.
Hey.
We had a fun time over the weekend. We went up to the track and we ran into. Well, we knew you were kind of going, but you were going with other. Well, that's true. That's true.
That was I was planning on actually going to Saratoga Lake.
I was planning on going because Eric's aunt was celebrating her birthday and she wanted to go to the track. So we went to the track.
Yeah, I was
ended up running into you.
Totally by chance though. Like I saw you were there.
Yep.
And I saw friends of mine from New Jersey were up there, and I'm like, okay, I guess I have to. I'm like, I need to go to the track today. Like, I need to go see people, especially like, I mean, Rob, in front of you. I see at least 3 days a week. The friends from home, they're not up here super often. They're good friends of mine.
Well, and also, I mean, we were only there for like a half an hour
together,
but, so
that one race we saw.
Oh, I know that was an incredible race.
I think it was
3 or 4 horses, right?
Yeah, it was
race number 5.
Race 5 on Saturday. Literally, 4 horses were all in the photo finish. There was basically 3 in a line, and then 1 right behind.
And you couldn't even tell.
And not like a horse length behind it, like a face length.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you,
it was like a hair.
If you take out those other 2 that came in second and third, it still would have been a photo finish.
Yeah.
It was that close. And I remember, like, in real time, we were like, and then they did slow-mo.
And you still couldn't
and
really
we were just
tell.
like, it was like kind of like a chuckling, like, groan. I don't know how to describe it. It was kind of like, oh my goodness.
And you know what? I picked the one that won, so I was okay with that.
I think I did too. Or no, you know what? I put a one on it to show. So I was a little bummed out. I mean, it won. It technically still should. But I'm like, wow, I kind of wish I did that too. But that's the game. That's how it works.
You had your hat. Eric had his cowboy hat, and I had my Lisa Capps Legacy hat. I don't have a fancy hat. I just wear normal baseball hats. And then here's Eric's family, his grandma right in front of, next to you.
They were so cool.
His mom and then his mom's cousin.
And shout out Eric's grandmother for giving me sunblock. I don't know how I forgot that.
Yes, you would have looked like a tomato today, I think, if you hadn't put the sunscreen on. It was a very sunny afternoon. So great time, and the weather continued to be nice on Sunday for most of the day.
I'm just saying, like, Saturday was almost perfect.
Oh, it was.
And
it was.
I remember on Sunday I was putting in the forecast for the Traverse this coming Saturday, and I'm like, are we really going to do it again?
I thought
if anything, it's better.
Last week I was thinking the same thing because I've got plans Saturday. We've actually got a train ride. I think it's like the Saratoga Corn Railway up there.
No kidding.
And we've got like a dinner and stuff like that. It's 50s theme night, so it's going to be kind of fun. I was fingers crossed since we booked it for good weather. And last week when I was looking at the forecast, I go, oh, don't tease me.
I know, like with these like 10 out of 10 days, I'm always so nervous that it's going to change on us. I'm like, wow, it looks amazing. Anyways.
So we've got this partial lunar eclipse.
And it's interesting with partial lunar eclipse, obviously 96%.
Yes.
Very close. Now, if it was a 96% solar eclipse, we'd be like, you have to be in totality. And I'm not saying it's not going to be better where it's 100%, but there's not as much of a disparity with the lunar eclipse. Like, you're still going to get a show.
Because with a solar eclipse, 96%, yes, it will dim, but you never get that full darkness. With this, you will see the red moon, and you will see a little sliver of white.
Yes.
I will be sleeping. I was not anticipating doing the backup, so I will miss this one. Hopefully, there'll be pictures to see, though.
I hope so.
And just as a quick reminder, this is the difference between a total partial and a penumbral. Partial, again, still in the Earth's hard shadow, but not fully.
Yeah, look at that little sliver at the bottom. Ooh.
So that is happening tonight. The full sturgeon moon, too. Is what it's called.
Do we have the guidance here? This is
Yeah, so this is the forecast from the Euro. This is around midnight, so just before our maximum eclipse. I've seen worse. This is hopeful, partly cloudy, maybe mostly cloudy in some cases, but and then you look at the GFS and it's slightly different, where this is saying go north. I don't know why that's doing that. I guess
go northwest.
So the chance still exists. I would not throw it away just yet, but just know that it may not be a totally clear night.
No. Well, no, not with this system on Thursday.
Exactly.
I would say you're seeing this on Thursday. Check in with Alyssa this evening and see if the outlook has changed from
how long
Wednesday.
The clouds
I mean, this is Wednesday morning. We haven't even looked at the 12Z.
Yep.
So we got 3 more model cycles. Maybe it'll improve because Friday's forecast is improved.
Yes.
So it could happen to this night too.
Absolutely. All right, Kevin, with that, we're going to head to our first break. When we come back, we're going to break down everything you need to know about meteorological fall, September, October, November. We're going to look at the Climate Prediction Center. We're going to look what typical fall weather looks like, and we'll look at where last fall ended up. Don't go away. And welcome back to Beyond the Forecast. Kevin, I don't know if you've looked at a lot of the outlooks for fall, but I guess what are you hoping for this fall? I'm
hoping this September it's just as nice as I feel like the previous two have been like the nicest weather months I've ever lived. Like it felt like every day was like this coming Saturday.
Yeah. Well,
like,
even August hasn't been too bad, really.
Oh, no.
There's been humidity, but the temperatures really have not been
rain at times.
Yes.
I mean, I'm probably thinking back to late July for that big one, but I mean, it's been at times unsettled. Just little ripples. Mm-hmm. Like we haven't had like big storms.
Which we can deal with.
Tonight we might get. Yeah. But I mean, the past two Septembers, I feel like we've gotten like blocking highs, which just gave us the most ridiculously nice weather like day after day, to the point where it became concerning. And then we'll talk more about it when we talk about last year.
Yeah.
But like we busted out of a moderate drought in a big
pretty
way.
Quick. Yeah. This is the outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. Kind of interesting to look at.
A little bubble over the country. But
Not quite sure what that is, but a slight lean in the Northeast for above average temperatures. So nothing is screaming a very warm fall. Nothing is screaming a cold fall. I'm not saying that we're going to be near average. I think maybe we end up a little bit above, but based on this anyways. Precip-wise, though, below average, which is a little bit of interesting.
Yeah.
I think that'll start to change as we head into winter, especially with the strong El Nino should trend towards wetter, just typically speaking. Speaking of El Nino, I did a little bit of digging, Kevin, and this is kind of what I came up with. So usually, more often than not, with a strong El Nino in the Northeast, this is what you would expect in the fall. A warm start, delayed cooler temperatures. Which, based on the guidance that I looked at on Tuesday, September looks like it could start warm. The GFS was trying to pump out 90s for the first week of September.
We are kind of due for a 90. I will say.
I agree.
The
now,
GFS.
The little bit that I looked at, they were mentioning as far as a potential boost to fall foliage colors because we're staying warmer and you don't have those cool days, cool nights. So again, I think a lot of that has to play into how the season overall has been. I know a lot of the maples are actually battling a fungus right now, so that's why a lot of them have died already. The trees will be fine from what I've read, but the leaves are not going to be brilliant this fall season. Meaningful cooler weather may hold off until October, but it's not guaranteed.
So what I'm hearing is the September I desire could be in play.
It could be in play. Above average temps and below average precip could continue September, October, and perhaps into November.
Okay.
Take that and do with that as you will.
I hope you are on top of the game, Rob.
We shall see. Here's a typical fall outlook.
Wow.
Yeah, our average highs drop off quite considerably from the mid-70s in September to the upper 40s in November. Yeah, I don't like that. Our average lows drop off quite considerably as well.
We're below freezing by mid-November, you're telling me?
Well, that's for the whole month. So
I figure we're in the upper 20s by the end of the month, Thanksgiving and stuff. But
and then the precip is there as well. Pretty consistent. Pretty consistent.
Up a bit in November.
Average snow through the end of November is 2.7. We do average a little bit in October.
Is it like a tenth?
I think you might be right. Maybe 3/10.
That one might be it's
maybe
either that
3/10.
or like maybe 1 point.
2.9 is November.
May's the one with nothing.
No, it's not. 2.9 is not November.
I was gonna say unless we have -2 in October, -0.2. All right, I'll just stop. I can't speak.
I think it's 2.6. It might be 0.1.
Okay,
October.
that makes sense.
You've used this graphic plenty of times, so if you want to take this one.
So you get we talk a lot about August, we talk a lot about summer, and towards the end of the month things start to dip. But starting off September, obviously we're not removed. That's just how we start the new season. 79 is still the average high, so you're still going to get your share of 80-degree days in all likelihood. And as Rob said, maybe the GFS is onto something. get close to
You
90.
never know.
Oh, could happen.
We don't love that. We don't love that model, but you never know.
We talked about that. I call it the goofus.
Yep. We could talk about that another time.
But you get some warm days to start the month, and then they become rarer and rarer, and that's why by October 1st, we're averaging upper 60s, and then all of a sudden 75 is considered a warm day.
Yep.
And upper 30s is considered a cold start. Cool start, actually.
Well, even now, 85 really is considered a warm day.
You're talking about over the course of 2 weeks, dropping 7 degrees in your average high from mid-September to early October.
Well, look at early October to mid-October.
I was saying another 8 degrees.
Yeah.
That's where it falls the quickest.
Yep.
I mean, fall living up to its name. Spring goes the opposite, spring up. But this is October, I think, is crazy. You go from 68 to 55.
Well, look at November. 55 to 43.
That's 12 degrees, that's 13. I think that's bigger.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah, so that's going to be, we know it happens every year. We're not surprised by this, but
I just saw the 40. That's why.
It's loading. It's coming up.
And this is why we do seasons like this. This is why it's meteorological fall, because it's easier to clump those 3 months together as opposed to when fall starts. What is it this year? September 23rd or something? Or September 22nd, maybe?
It's late. Now,
So,
what I'll say, one more thing, I'll say this. I say this every 3 months. The data, not only is it easier for record keeping, of course it is. The data,
but it kind of aligns
at least for here,
more,
and for a good chunk of the Northeast, the data aligns more with meteorological season. So, you can go by the tilt.
We still talk about astronomical.
You could go by the tilt of the Earth. I'm just telling you.
But record
your
keeping.
Expectations should be that this is fall, September 1st.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, early September can still be like summer, so.
But I would say early December is more winter-like than late March, or mid-March.
Oh, I agree with that. I agree with that. Last fall, our warmest temperature was 85 on September 28th.
Kind of late in the month.
Yeah.
Can happen.
Yep. And there were a couple 80s during the month as well. So, I mean, it was a warm September. The coldest, yeah.
Come on.
What is that? 64 degrees colder.
That's this season?
On November
Really?
23rd.
Yep. Coming up to that?
Yep. The snowfall, we were nearly 4 inches above. Remember, we had that quick start to the season.
Yeah, I remember
that lake effect snowband that
you
set
remember,
up. I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that.
That made
Matt and Alyssa,
right?
Yeah, because it fell right between the two of them.
Yeah.
But who would have thought that we would have seen our first inch in Albany from lake effect? There was snow all month long, but it was like 0.6, 0.8, 0.7.
It's also funny you mentioned that. Like they're within 2 miles either way. There was probably less than an inch.
Yeah, I think I had maybe an inch or two at my house. Like it was not much.
Fun. I love lake
it came down heavy, but maybe an inch or two. Rainfall, and of course this accounts for melted snowfall, 12.14 inches. That is significant because, as Kevin mentioned, we started out so dry in September.
Bone dry in September.
So to end over an inch and a half above average.
I remember, it was either late October or it was at the end of a month we had an absolute deluge.
It was the end of September. And the reason I say, because I remember doing a story with the apple crop and well water being low and everything. And then the following week, it was like, it wouldn't stop raining.
We were looking at this could be like a top 10 dry September. And then the heavens opened up and all of a sudden we were above average.
Almost like July.
Yeah.
Of this year.
July was ridiculous.
Well, I'm just saying.
No, I know, but that was in a world of its own.
Ignore that says spring temps. That's the only thing I forgot to change. But 51.7. We ended the season 0.1 degree below average.
That's pretty much as close as you get.
We started so warm, though.
Yeah.
September and October were both above average, but November virtually wiped it out.
Yeah, I remember, because I was just picking up golf. And I was keeping obviously, I watched the average temperatures, but I'm like, it was like late October through November. We just never warmed up.
No.
And then we had all those streaks in winter, or didn't get above freezing.
Winter was cold.
Yeah, but it started late fall last year.
Based on a strong El Nino, we wouldn't expect that this year. No. But we do know that there's other forcing mechanisms globally than just El Nino. So we can give you an idea based on what El Nino shows, but doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen. Kevin, when we come back, I want to go over what we've seen over the last 5 years. We're talking temperatures, rainfall, and snowfall for the season of fall. I know I don't want to say it. We're in August, but
for now,
it's not far away.
Listen, Rob, our next episode's in September.
I know. I know. We'll be talking about Labor Day then. That's
school.
hard to believe, too. I know, back to school. It seems like summer just started. Anyways, don't go away. Well, welcome back into Beyond the Forecast. I don't know about you, Kevin, but when we get into new seasons, new months, things like that, I always start wondering, what has it been like in the past?
Yeah.
And in particular, last 5 years, because that's, if you go much further than that, memories are kind of not reliable for weather. I hate to say it that way, but...
Well, I think, like, outside of crazy events,
yes,
you can remember past few years of I remember like late September we had all this rain that we talked about a situation like that. Like unless it's to the magnitude of like July 29th. You're probably not going to remember it for more than a few years.
You may not even remember the exact date. I'm looking back to like different ice storms or tornadoes that we've had in Stillwater and Schaghticoke. I can't remember the exact years, but I remember around the time it was. But this is what we have for temperatures the last 5 years in Albany. And this is fall, obviously. Interesting. Last year was the first year that was a hair below average.
In a while.
But the 4 years previous were all above by over a degree.
Mm-hmm. The past two or the two before last year, I should say, almost 2.5 degrees. 2.5 degrees or so more.
So...
Which is pretty significant for a 3-month average.
Somebody commented on one of my posts today as far as, we don't have cool Septembers anymore. Maybe in recent memory.
Yeah.
But obviously I didn't look at that. But I will be looking at that for next week's episode.
There you go.
Good idea on that one. But we'll look and see on that. Rainfall... Kevin, obviously we just saw last year's rain. We did end up a little bit above average. The average is just over 10.5 inches of rain and melted snow for those 3-month period.
I don't know what I expected here, but it wasn't this.
That's what I said. Like, there were surprises when I was doing this. I was like, wow, like, okay, so gradually we were going down.
2024 was really, it was, that was another fall that started off like really nice.
Yeah. Yep.
But also like too nice. Actually, you need rain.
You know what? Talk about this for a little bit, Kev, because I do want to bring up, I just want to see
2021.
2020.
Oh, yeah, that's a
I
good
just
one.
want to see if there was another, like, I wonder if we were in a downward trend already or if it was...
No, that's a good point. 2020 was super active in the tropics, and I believe, was it 2021? We started the month of September with Ida. I'm not sure how far north it made it. I know it hit me in PA, it hit my family in Jersey.
I think we had it.
But I believe it hit here too, and... that was a good amount of rain. That was a system that provided a lot of moisture. Flash flooding in New York City, I still remember, was really bad. And then, that meteorological fall started off with a bang, 2021. So, then ever since, it's just been kind of going down quite a bit each year until last year. We doubled the year before, pretty much.
2020 was 9.45.
Okay.
So there wasn't really like an upward trend at that point. I just want to look and see.
Well, a good amount of, the remnants from that summer was probably in the July and August, now I think of that.
And fall precip, based on this, since records began, has actually been up since 1874.
Yeah.
The average in 1874 was about 8.13. Now we average about, again, 10.5 that you see there. So... it's gone up quite a bit based on the
all it takes is like you get a couple of years
tropical system or something.
One downpour over the Albany airport. Excuse the number a little bit, but like early September. Obviously, as you get towards November, the precip events become a little bit more uniform across the region. Not always, but
or a little more snowfall. This is the 5-year trend, I guess you should say. Kind of an upward trend here. 2020, just for reference, was 1.2. So 2018, we had 10.4 inches of snow here in that season. I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah, a little early. Although in last year's case, it was like the end of November. It wasn't like it hit
and at
in
that
November.
point, it's okay. Even 2024, I think, was around Thanksgiving. I think we had a few inches of
Yes.
snow around Thanksgiving.
There was a
So
storm.
that's
Still call
okay.
in. Sometimes to make snow maps, I call in a graphic that Mackie made Thanksgiving 2024. I think it was called "Will It Snow," and it was just like I don't know, like it just outlines our mountains really well. So
Yeah.
sometimes I start snow maps with it because obviously our snow maps require the terrain to be highly considered. So
Now this is interesting. When I put the regression line on this, the average snowfall from 1884 was 3.8 inches.
yeah.
The average snowfall through last year was 3.4. You see 2.9 on here. That's the 30-year average.
It's gone down a bit.
So it has gone down a little bit. Not a significant amount, but obviously, if we're expecting a little bit warmer, you'd
Still
expect
rare
more
either
mix
way,
or
you
rain
know?
or yeah. The last big event, obviously, like I said, 2018, 10.4. And then before that, it was 2014. We actually had just over a foot for fall. So, yeah.
Did you have a 2011 pointer pulled up?
I have the
Or
whole
was-
thing here.
what was
2011 was 5.4.
Okay, so there's a really big system I had in northern New Jersey in October that year that, was one of the reasons I got into weather to begin with. That dropped 1.5 feet in North Jersey, but I guess we were just in the sweet spot.
And yeah, probably because I think the biggest October snowfall was 6.4 inches, I think, in the 80s here.
Yeah. I could look into that.
That was
next
early
month, too.
October. That was early October. The most snow we've ever seen in meteorological fall, 24.6 inches. And that was in 1972.
Now that's rude. If we get
And the year before that was 24.
If we get, that's crazy. If we get 7 inches, and I'm gonna just reference those years because that's
And then the year after that,
0.
0.1.
I was close. I'm pretty much 0. Give me a break.
But the year before was 0. So it was bookended. There was 2 years in a row that was over 2 feet. So kind of crazy.
Averages are cool.
Exactly. All right, Kev. I think next week we'll be talking about Labor Day statistics. We'll be talking about the month of September. And if anybody gets pictures of the eclipse, please send them our way.
Yes.
We would love to show them next week on Beyond the Forecast. Until then, hopefully you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy the weather. Unless something drastic changes, it should be fantastic.
Don't manifest it.
I know. I'm not trying to because I got plans too. So have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here next week.